Let's be honest. The most dangerous moment in a man's life isn't when a woman walks away. It's when she stays. She still smiles. She still replies. She laughs at your jokes. Everything looks normal, yet somewhere beneath the surface, she has quietly stopped seeing you the same way. That silence doesn't feel like rejection. It feels like comfort, and that's exactly why it destroys men. Because when a woman truly stops caring, she doesn't argue. She doesn't complain. She doesn't beg, say, "Fades." But when she remains emotionally present while ignoring one very specific thing about you, that isn't indifference. That's love in its most unsettling form. Here's something women rarely say out loud. When a woman is only mildly interested, she pays attention to what you do. When she's deeply in love, she watches who you are when you think no one is paying attention. And there is one subtle, fractalate signal, if she stops reacting to it, that tells you've crossed from being optional to being emotionally anchored inside her nervous system. Most men think love is proven through attention, texts, calls, jealousy, possessiveness. But female psychology doesn't operate on the surface. Those are learned behaviors. What I'm describing is instinctive, unconscious, something she couldn't fake, even if she wanted to. When a woman truly loves you, she stops reacting to your emotional fluctuations. Read that again slowly. She doesn't punish your silence. She doesn't provoke drama to feel secure. She doesn't test your loyalty. She ignores the small emotional inconsistencies that would normally make her pull away from a man she doesn't trust. Why? Because her brain has already labeled you as safe. A woman who is unsure about you monitors everything. Your tone shifts. She notices. You reply slower. She spirals. You sound distant. She mirrors it. That isn't love. That's evaluation. That's her subconscious asking, is this man reliable, or am I investing in something unstable? But when she ignores those microsignals, when she doesn't interrogate your moods, doesn't chase reassurance, doesn't turn your quiet moments into conflict, that isn't boredom. That's emotional certainty. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men never hear. Women don't relax around men they don't care about, they detach. Relaxation is intimacy. When she ignores your emotional noise, it's because she's tuned into your emotional baseline. She understands that your silent isn't abandonment, your distance isn't rejection, your focus shifting isn't loss of interest. She gives you psychological room to be human because in her mind, you're already chosen. This is where many men self-sabotage. They mistake her calm for fading attraction. They escalate, over-explain, seek reassurance. And the very thing that made her feel safe, your steadiness, gets replaced by insecurity. Real love doesn't cling, it trusts. When a woman ignores the urge to manage your emotions, to regulate your reactions, to test your consistency, it means she's emotionally bonded, not excited. Bonded. That bond doesn't come from charm or looks. It comes from how your presence made her nervous system feel over time. Predictable, grounded, solid. If she's letting you breathe without fear, you're not losing her. You're already inside. Men are taught that love gets louder with time. More intensity, more proof. But in female psychology, love grows quieter, not weaker, quieter. And if you don't understand that shift, you'll misinterpret devotion as disinterest and destroy something rare. Here's another truth men aren't told. A woman in love stops managing you. Before that, she manages everything. Your effort, your schedule, your tone. She nudges, means, questions, corrects. Not to control you, but to assess whether you're safe to invest in long term. But once she's truly in love, she lets go of that urge. She doesn't micromanage your ambition. She doesn't push you to open up faster or to explain yourself deeper. She lets you arrive in your own time. That space you feel, that's silence. That's respect mixed with attachment. Women only surrender control when they trust the foundation. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most men feel valuable when they're needed. So when a woman stops needing reassurance, stops chasing presence, stops demanding clarity, you feel invisible. But psychologically, the opposite is happening. She has internalized you. You've become part of her emotional baseline, like gravity, like the ground beneath her feet. She doesn't check if the floor is still there. She steps on it, assuming it will hold. A woman who overlooks your imperfections, your off days, your moments of withdrawal, is seeing your long-term self, not your performance. Attraction feeds on performance. Love feeds on safety. This is why charm fades but depth settles. When she's in love, she stops decoding every behavior. She no longer asks, "What does this mean?" because her nervous system already knows who you are. She doesn't reread texts. She doesn't spiral over pauses. She trusts the pattern you've established. Patterns matter more than moments. Inconsistent intensity creates obsession. Consistent calm creates attachment. Only one lasts. This is also why women in love don't threaten to leave. Threats come from insecurity. Silence comes from certainty. She doesn't need to scare you into staying because she believes you already are. If you misread that and start chasing reactions, poking the bond, testing it just to feel something, you weaken what was stable. Love isn't loud, it's steady. If she stopped trying to reshape you, pressure you, or constantly impress herself with you, she hasn't given up. She's given in. The most frightening kind of love doesn't feel intoxicating. It feels normal. And that's why men panic. Because falling feels intense. But having fallen feels stable. Stability doesn't feed the ego. It feeds the bond. Here's another thing she ignores when she's truly in love: the need to constantly be impressed. In early stages, she watches closely your confidence, humor, ambition, stories. She's alert, measuring, comparing. Attraction lives there. Love begins when she no longer needs to be dazzled. You don't have to perform masculinity on command. You don't have to dominate every interaction. You don't have to prove your worth with words. Your presence alone regulates her nervous system. That calm confuses men who mistake anxiety for chemistry. Anxiety feels intense. Calm feels flat. But in female psychology, calm feels like home. This is why women in love don't chase validation. She already knows how she feels. What she notices now is how life feels with you in it. She overlooks awkward moments, quiet days, conversations that don't sparkle. She weighs the emotional climate, not individual events. Women fall out of love, not from boredom, but from emotional unpredictability. If your presence creates whiplash, her system never settles. And a woman can't stay in love while constantly bracing for impact. But if she ignores your off days, your silence, your internal processing, it's because she trusts your baseline. She knows you return to center. That trust changes how she loves. She stops chasing highs. She invests in continuity. This is why some men hear, "You've changed." When the woman has, she's moved from attraction to attachment, from evaluation to integration. And if you respond by manufacturing excitement through distance, jealousy, or games, you don't rebibit the cedar, you destabilize safety. Love doesn't need fireworks every night. It needs a fire that survives the wind. Here's another sign men misunderstand. When she's truly in love, she stops competing for your attention. When uncertain, she watches other women, likes, comments, co-workers, exes, not from insecurity, but uncertainty. But when she's bonded, she disengages. She doesn't stalk, interrogate, compare. The choice feels settled. Jealousy may signal early investment. Trust sustains love. If she ignores potential rivals, it's because she doesn't see them as threats. Her bond with you feels non-replaceable. That's attachment. This is also why she stops testing loyalty. Tests come from doubt. Love doesn't need exams. Men often try to provoke jealousy to revive sparks, but mystery destabilizes attachment. A woman who feels unsafe doesn't fight harder, she withdraws quietly. If she stops monitoring your social world, she's conserving energy for the bond itself. She trusts your patterns. Misreading that calm as apathy and shaking it teaches her nervous system that peace with you isn't safe. Women adapt, but adaptation looks like distance. Men chase intensity to feel wanted. Women need stability to stay bonded. If she's stopped guarding her place, she's not checked out. She's checked in. The deepest sign of love isn't what she demands, it is what she no longer needs. Here's another thing she ignores when she's truly in love: the need for constant reassurance about the future. Uncertainty asks questions. Love feels direction. She doesn't need timelines repeated. Promises emphasized. Clarity forced. She watches alignment. Rushing comes from fear. Calm. Progression comes from trust. If she's stopped defining the relationship verbally, it's because it's already defined internally. And finally, the most important sign. When she truly loves you, she stops protecting herself from you. The armor comes off. She lets your words matter. She allows herself to be affected. She forgives faster, not because she's weak, but because she values continuity over control. That trust is dangerous. Because once she decides she needs to protect herself again, love doesn't explode. It evaporates quietly. If she's relaxed, open, unguarded around you, you're standing in the rarest place a man can stand. You're trusted, and trust is the deepest currency of love. So ask yourself honestly, and write it in the comments. Do you create emotional safety or emotional tension for the woman you care about most? Because that answer determines whether love deepens or quietly disappears.